Hello friends, welcome to JQuery tutorial. In the last video, we talked about the animate method and how to perform parallel transition. Now we will see how to use animate chain so that we can perform sequential animation. In our previous example, we animated opacity and height together, right? It performs all the transition parallelly. JQuery also supports animating property in sequential order. Just like other methods, we can also chain animate method, thereby producing the sequential effect. Let us modify div tag to have one more button called animation chain. And if you see, this is the new button we are adding to our button group. In jQuery, we select the button group and apply a set of CSS styles. This happens when the document is ready. So to learn the sequential animation, we are doing this preparation. In jQuery, we select the button group, text size button group, and apply a set of CSS styles. We will use those styles in handy so that we can learn the sequential animation. The CSS position allows the element to be positioned relative to its normal. So here during the document ready, we are making call to $text size, right? We are picking this div tag, right? And applying the CSS position relative. So the CSS property we are giving is position relative, right? Value relative we are specifying. Here we give both a CSS style as well as value, right? So within curly braces we are giving this. This is useful to move the element later in the animation. That means this position relative is useful to move the element, right? So all these stuffs are CSS. We already used the CSS, right? Display none. Now here we are using the position property. Read our CSS playlist to know all the CSS properties. So here position relative we are setting because we want to move this entire div tag as part of the CSS animation. Border style and border width sets border around the button group. Here we are setting the position to relative. Then we are chaining it, right? It will return the element, and again we are chaining that with CSS. This time we are setting border style as a solid and border width as 3 pixel. Then we set the width and the height as well, right? Here also, if you see, we are using the chaining. Right, but we are using this chaining to apply set of CSS property for easy readability, or you can use a comma separated list, right, with one CSS call. We used that in the animate method when we are experimenting the parallel animation by setting the opacity as well as the height property. In the click event, we perform the sequential animation. So this takes place on document ready, right? So we added a new button, right? And we will hook a click event handler and provide a body. And in that body, we will perform the sequential animation. So here is our $anim chain, right? ID is anim chain, and we are picking that using the hash. Then we are providing the handler function click. The first animate increases the border width by 2 pixels, and transition takes place in 2 seconds. And if you see $text size, that will pick the div tag, entire div tag. This means we are picking all the 4 buttons since we pick the parent, right? Then we make call to animate and we increase border width to 2 pixel. That means here to the animate method, this is the CSS style we are using, border width, right? And here if you see, we are using plus equal to 2 pixel, and this is the animation duration, right? Transition duration is 2 seconds, and if you see the first animate, this animate increases the border width by 2 pixel and the transition takes place in 2 seconds. That means whatever is the current border width, increase it to 2 pixel by adding the 2 pixels. So if it is 4 pixel right now, to the animate method we are stating plus equal to 2 pixel. That means add 2 pixel here. That means we get 6 pixel, right? So this is the transition from 4 pixel to 6 pixel. Transition takes place in 2 seconds. And what transition is tied? The transition is tied to border width, right? Border width we are increasing 4 pixel to 6 pixel, and we are passing that to animate method, and this action takes place in 2 seconds on the object text size, and the text size is this div tag, right? So for div tag, border width we are increasing, so that's one animation. The fad to sets the opacity to 35% by taking 1 second of time. And if you see here, we are doing the chaining, $text dot, the element is picked. On that we make a call to animate, right? Then dot fad to, right? This is how we are chaining fad to 1000 and 0.35. This 1000 here specifies the time duration, 1 second. In 1 second, fad to 35%, right? So likewise, fad to we are calling multiple time, and we will see what we are filling in between. Animate left moves the element towards left in 1 second. This is the chain animate. First we use border width, this time we are using the left, right? Increase the left position. Initially we set relative, right? Position relative. Now we are moving it left to 500 pixel. From current position, move it towards the left to 500 pixel, right? And the duration is 1 second for this transition. Animate padding increases the padding by 3 pixel in 2 seconds. Here we are using the padding property plus equal to 3 pixel, and animation duration is 2 seconds. Then animation left minus equal to 500 pixel, and if you see plus moves this way and minus moves this way. So we are restoring, right? First we moved 500 pixel, then we are restoring. Now the net effect, if you see, first we are picking the text size, we are animating it, border width we are increasing it to 200 pixel. So if this is the div element with all the buttons, the border width increases first, and this animation takes place in 2 seconds. Then fad to 35%. That means we are setting the transparency to or opaque to 35%. That means it will be transparent, semi-transparent, right? So first border width increases, then the second transition of fad to takes place, then element moves towards the right, because left we are increasing the pixel, right? Element position, right? From the top left corner of your browser window, we are increasing the left position. That means it moves towards the right. Once it moves towards the right, we are chaining that to the fad to. Now the element is completely visible here, right? Because we set fad to percentage as 100%. Here it is 35%. right? So when the object is in transition or when it is moving, we are setting uh, the div to semi-transparent. Once it moved to the destination location, then we are increasing the transparency to 1. I mean the opacity to 1. That means element is fully visible. After that, we are applying the padding. Padding is nothing but the distance between the element and its margin. Again, read our CSS course to know more about, or Google it. Next, once again, we are doing the fad, right? We are making it transparent, and then we are restoring it to the back to the original position. Then fad 2, we are setting it to 1. So if you see the net effect, first we increase the border width, right? Then we make it transparent because then we move the element, and in the destination we increase the padding. Then we set the transparency and move it, and once it reaches the original position, we restore the transparency to 1 pixel. And if you see here, we are doing the multiple animation by making use of the chaining, right? Now let's see how this animation chain works. This way you can create your custom animation. Here, if you see, we are using the animation chain, right? A new button is added, and we created a new example also by doing the copy paste. So as already explained in our PowerPoint slide, now we will add, first let us check what is this one. This is highlighted, right? Okay, this is a document ready. That means we need to write it here. Alright, this takes place during the document write, and here is the click event. If you need whatever stuff that takes place in the document write, that you can keep together, and all the click event you can move in the bottom. Anyhow, here, since we are learning it, I keep the snippet in sequence. Here we are learning about the animation effect, right? First we apply record CSS style, then we perform the animation effect here, right? By handling the click event for the anim chain, which we added here as a new button. Alright, now let's save the content and run it. So see, this is the button group, and since we applied a set of CSS rules or CSS styles, when document is loaded, you can see the div tag is marked with the border. Now when I click the animation chain, because in this button click only we are handling all the animation, right? If you review the animation once again, right, border width, fad, left, fad, padding, fade, then restore to the original position, left, minus equal to, here we are using plus equal to 500 pixel, here we are using minus equal to 500 pixel, right? The element moves towards the right, then it comes back, and before starting the animation we are increasing the border width for the div tag. This is the border width, right? This one we increase, and once the element is in the rightmost position, we apply fat to, then we increase the padding, right, and we restore it to the original position. I mean, once again we do padding, then we will restore it. Let me keep this for reference. Alright, now let me click animate chain. And if you see, the first animation is taking place, then element moved towards right, padding is increased, it is coming back here. That's all. Right, let me do it again so that you can see it clearly. It is move, border size is increasing, moving with semi-transparent, moving and fully transparent. Right, that's all. Here we are ending this course. By this time you know how to use the CSS property and perform sequential as well as a parallel animation. In this sub-series we also learned how to use the CSS directly, thereby you can apply any CSS style to the picked element. Then we explored some standard animation function like show, hide, fade in, fade out, slide down, slide up, all those stuff. Those are all fixed function. Using the animate method, you can create your own animation effect, right? Sequential way or parallel way by doing the animation chain. We are ending this sub-series. Thank you for watching. Bye.